Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be doing a video on something that I think people, I think it's being realized at the moment in politics, but I wanted to discuss the fact that Republicans have had the best week. And I say week, although this stuff has happened kind of within, 2 to 3 weeks, 1 to 3 weeks, but I'm going to use the word week because it sounds better. The best week in modern history of their party. I think that that's what's happened this week. They have, and this has happened without them even being in power. They have managed to get, or at least in some instances, they have managed to get so much accomplished, politically. And I think that we have to go over this. So first off, I'm just going to talk about the most recent event, which was the primary elections last night. J.D. Vance was the person that was elected among the Republicans to be their Senate nominee. He was the most conservative person on that ticket. I mean, I guess you could include somebody like Mark Butika, but he's not even he's at 2.1%. J.D. Vance, the most conservative, the Trump-endorsed candidate. Republicans will now very likely he will defeat Tim Ryan, given it's Ohio and it's a red wave year. And he'll go on to be the senator from Ohio. That is a big thing. Republicans seemingly have gotten and won many, many primaries with what they would call America First candidates. A lot of the establishment candidates in their party have been not performing as well as they'd hoped. Matt Dolan couldn't even get 25% of the support in Ohio. So that is incredibly good news for the Republicans, and especially the Trump wing of the Republicans, which in my mind dominates the party at the moment. Tim Ryan, of course, won, but also Mike DeWine, although he is definitely much more of an establishment Republican, he didn't even pierce 50%. If Jim Marinaki and Joe Blasio, came to an agreement with their combined vote, they would have, whoever was the person to be there would have beat DeWine. So, I mean, it's definitely a big moment. So that's really the crust of what I want to talk about here. But I want to go over to the next article. This is another article that just happened recently. Elon Musk seemingly will be taking control of Twitter very soon. Now, he hasn't officially taken control, but he has bought Twitter. He has acquired Twitter. This is a major win for the Republican Party. Now, I can't actually read this article for you because you have to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. But I'm just going to talk about this for a minute. Elon Musk buying Twitter. This is something that is, although people talk about Twitter being the platform with the lowest amount of user base on it, Twitter is the company that shapes the political discourse. Donald Trump has started tweeting on, if you want to call it his app, Truth Social. He says he's not returning to Twitter, but I don't think that's set in stone either. I think he may. But with Republicans having a greater say on Twitter, the public conversation will change. And I think it's already changed significantly in the past few weeks. But with this buy, Republicans are going to have a significantly greater shot at winning elections. When they talk about the Hunter Biden story and that being suppressed, that did have an effect on the 2020 election. And, that is due to Twitter. That's also due to Facebook and Google. But Twitter played a major role in that story suppression. With Elon Musk's takeover, he said that would not have happened. He was staunchly opposed to Donald Trump being banned from Twitter. And many things like that. He's against shadow banning. He wants an open source code. And those are all things that benefit Republicans, completely benefit Republicans. And as we head into the 2022 midterms, it will only benefit them further. And I do think Elon Musk is going to win this battle. He's already won the battle of buying Twitter, but now he's going to win the battle, in my mind, of this, disinformation thing. I do think he's going to win that as well. And this is one of the most major developments we have seen. It would have been the most major development in the last month if it were not for an even bigger story that I'm now heading to, which is the Supreme Court has voted, not officially, but voted to overturn abortion rights, draft opinion shows. This was reported by Politico. This is the Politico article that I showed you guys 2 days ago. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. This is the biggest political victory for the Republican Party in decades. I said a decade before. I'm going to say decades now. The tax cuts obviously were not the biggest political victory. People would say, well, they got all this justices on the court. Well, now they're actually putting that policy into action. And Roe v. Wade seems to be overturned, or will be overturned shortly. I think that the court should just come out with a decision already. I don't know why they're holding back, but this is something that is major. This is something that Republicans have fought for 49 years since the 1973 ruling. They had the 49th March for Life this year. So, I mean, this is a major win and victory for the Republican Party. People say, well, this is going to hurt Republicans in the midterms. I don't believe that at all, actually. When you look at the actual polling data, people are not directly enthused by the abortion issue in this country, especially the independent voters. They only really tend to care about the economy and about possibly immigration or education, not about abortion. Abortion is something that may drive out some of that Democrat base, but I'm not even sure if it will that significantly. I just don't think it's the abortion argument. It's not going to change the midterm elections. People that are saying that, oh, the polls are going to change, things are changing, that's not true at all. This is a major victory for the Republicans. And even if Republicans were hesitant about this, they should still be happy. I mean, the whole point, at least from their perspective, is that if they win elections and is to get political victories, what is better, winning the election or getting a political victory? Especially something that, including this, would be that important to them. A political victory surely would be the more important thing. And then this is probably the biggest victory they've had with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. If this is true and if this eventually happens, Samuel Alito, one of the most conservative justices on the court, writing the opinion. It's definitely going to be a conservative opinion. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was weak. I've read this already, but this is certainly fiery rhetoric from Alito. This is a major victory for Republicans. And then we'll go to a little bit of a minor story, but I do think that it is going to have implications for the Republican Party across the country. Ron DeSantis, has let me just do this. He has dismantled Disney's. He's revoked Disney's special taxing district. Disney now, so he's going after Disney for Disney going after him politically. Now this was something that Disney had. This was a special privilege that Disney had in the state of Florida. So legally, Ron DeSantis had that power to dismantle that from Disney. And this is a growing trend of Republicans who, and then of course this is a Democrat newspaper, so keep that in mind. But this is a growing trend of Republicans across the country, and this is going to spark more Republicans to go out and actually really kind of play dirty politically. I mean, we've seen this with people before, but I don't think we've seen it at this level, especially with Republican Party. DeSantis specifically targeting a company. You remember back when the MLB withdrew from the Georgia All-Star game in Atlanta. Same with Coca-Cola and Delta. But now it seems that is badly affecting them, and I do think that you're going to see Republican governors, senators playing dirty across the country. This is definitely something that is smart politically for the Republicans. They are starting to get tactfully much better than where they were at 5-10 years ago. Ron DeSantis, in my mind, is one of the most effective Republican governors and Republicans in the entire country. He is driving the Republican Party at the moment, not Trump. DeSantis is driving the Republican Party. And I didn't have this article exactly yet, but I'm just going to search it up on here where it was. Let me just search it up. The federal judge revoked the flight mask mandate. So this is another major political victory. I'll just go on to this New York Times article for a minute. Federal judge has struck down the mask mandate for planes and public transit. This is another major win for the Republicans in the courts. This is a Trump-appointed judge. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read this article. Okay, it looks like I am. I don't think I have many more articles that I can read on the New York Times. I'm not a subscriber, but I'm not really going to look at this. This is a major victory for the Republicans. Another one that just happened recently. I mean, let me take a look at the date this came out. April 18th. So we're about 2 weeks since then. But this is another major victory. Republicans finally, this was probably the last thing where the mask mandates were still required on planes and public transit. And now it has been struck down. And you saw all of those flight companies, even Delta, American Airlines, revoking their mask mandates. And that's another, of course, major victory for the Republicans. The Biden administration says they're going to fight it in court. I don't think they're super passionate about making sure that they get what they want. But this is another victory for the Republicans. And then this is me just showing you everything that has happened that is beneficial and good for the Republicans in the last few weeks, if you want to call it that. And they have all of the momentum going into the 2022 midterms this November. Don't let anybody tell you the Democrats have a shot at the House. Republicans will take back the House. I know that the gerrymandering is not good for the Republicans, but I'm just speaking objectively. Republicans will take back the House, and they have a very good shot at the Senate if they nominate candidates like J.D. Vance. They have a very good shot at the Senate. Adam Laxalt is the most winnable Republican in Nevada. I think that Blake Masters actually would be very well for the Republicans in Arizona. Of course, politically speaking, Ted Budd will win in North Carolina. These are all of the Trump-endorsed people. Dr. Oz, he was fine. I mean, they didn't really have the best batch of people running there, and Trump's giving him his endorsement to Oz. So, we'll see what happens there. But this is a very good time for the Republicans. This is the strongest their party has been in a very long time. Don't think that Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell run the Republican Party. They don't. Ron DeSantis runs the Republican Party. Donald Trump runs the Republican Party with his endorsements. And those people are not in the federal government. Mitch McConnell and McCarthy may have significant funding, but they do not run the party the way that the other DeSantis, Trump people run the party, and that is big. And frankly, Republicans are going to do pretty well in this election, and we'll see what happens in 2024. But at this point in time, people think that with Roe v. Wade being overturned, that'll help Democrats. I don't think so. As I said, I don't think it will. We've yet to see. But Republicans are very, very dominant, and they have had the best week in the history of their party in decades. So anyway, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, this brief video of me going over just a few of the Republicans' most recent victories across the country, and seeing the pendulum swinging back, as I spoke about in the Roe v. Wade video. The winds are seemingly now blowing in the direction of the Republicans. Anyway, as I said before, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get to 550 subscribers. If you've not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Share with your friends. Like the video. Comment below your thoughts on all of these victories. And what do you think will happen in the midterms? Have a great day. See you all soon.